Moments that change everything. The Monday Morning Memo for February 24th, 2025. The biggest decisions I ever made didn't seem big at the time. I'll bet the same is true for you. Pivotal changes in direction seem obvious to us 10 years later, but during that tiny moment when we alter our course a little, it feels like a very small thing. Here are 4 small, pivotal moments that loom large in my mind today.
Moment number 1.
I was a 22-year-old advertising salesman who was rapidly going bald. Every business owner I met was trying to decide, where should I invest my ad budget? One morning I heard myself answer, I don't care where you spend your money. The thing that matters most is what you say in your ads. The man didn't believe me, but I believed me. The direction of my future was altered by a few degrees in that singular, magical moment.
Moment number 2, about 18 months later.
I was writing exceptional ads, and everyone was dancing, except me. I knew something was missing, but I didn't know what, and it was bugging me. I looked into my own eyes in the bathroom mirror for about 1 minute one morning. And then I said out loud, why am I not seeing better results? My reflection reached out from that mirror, slapped my face, grabbed my collar, and pulled me in so closely that my nose was pressed into the glass. I could feel its breath on my ear as it whispered, you are reaching too many people with too little repetition. You never forget a thing like that.
Moment number 3.
I was pondering the reach and frequency analysis of my media schedule that had been calculated by the most famous data company in America, and it said everything was fine. But I knew I was reaching too many people with too little repetition. That was the problem. I found the cause of that problem and the solution to it, buried deep in the methodology of how advertising everywhere is measured, sold, purchased, and evaluated. Good science is distorted by our erroneous assumptions. We gather perfectly accurate data and then misinterpret it. We rarely question our assumptions, especially when they are part of the universally accepted way of how things are done. If you could see the mistakes that hide in your blind spot, it would not be called a blind spot. Misinterpretation of data is an irresistible tide that carries every boat in the wrong direction. The first fatal mistake occurs so early in the process of data processing that we never really question it. The second fatal mistake happens during the implementation stage. You assume that spreading your small ad budget across different media is the right thing to do because everyone does it. This idea of a media mix is practiced by all the largest advertisers and taught in every university. They say to their marketing students, this is what the biggest companies do. You should imitate them. But here's the dead fly in that bowl of soup. When a company has a much bigger ad budget than everyone else in their category, they can aim that fire hose across several media and soak everyone with relentless repetition. But you don't have a fire hose. You have a watering can. If you use your watering can properly, you'll be able to afford a garden hose. And if you use that garden hose properly, you will soon be able to afford a fire hose. The water in your watering can should be used to water all the people you can reach with sufficient repetition. With sufficient repetition. With sufficient repetition. Repetition is the non-negotiable you must protect at all cost. When you reach too many people with too little repetition, no one gets wet, and you stay small. Note: I am dangerously oversimplifying the solution when I say that you can achieve automatic involuntary recall, known as procedural memory, by reaching the average person at least 2.5 times per week, every week, with a magnetically memorable message. That's how you become a household word. That simple explanation is dangerous because the reports that are most commonly generated from the data will confirm that you are achieving a weekly repetition of 2.5 when you are not, in fact, achieving it. Let's review.
A.
When you are buying media, never forget that figures lie and liars figure. You have to know more about data analysis than the media sellers who want to put your ad budget in their pocket.
B.
You will always be attracted to the media that is most easily measured, not the one that is most effective. You must resist this fatal attraction.
C.
You will assume that the secret to success in advertising is, quote, to reach the right people. Fact. I have never seen a business fail due to reaching the wrong people.
D.
Your ads will need to win the heart, knowing that the mind will follow. Fact. The mind will always find logic to justify what the heart has already decided.
E.
Winning the hearts of people is amazingly affordable if you
1.
have patience and
2.
know how to write great ads.
F.
Winning those hearts at the last minute is extremely expensive. Don't put it off until the last minute. When I discovered the secret of making miracles, I began making millionaires.
Moment number 4.
I decided to quit charging by the hour when I was about 30 years old. My new plan was to charge a flat rate per month for 1 year, then adjust that monthly salary up or down by the same percentage the client's top line had increased or decreased during the previous 12 months. This aligned my best interests with their best interests. Note to great ad writers: don't be paid according to how much your client spends. Be paid according to how much they grow. This is how you will become the world's most highly paid ad writer. Roy H. Williams. P.S. You definitely want to see page 1 in the rabbit hole today. To see page 1, click the image of the sunset at the top of this page. If you are listening to the audio version of this memo, go to mondaymorningmemo.com and look in the archives for February 27th, 2025. Moments that change everything.
Note 1. Advertising professionals will notice that Roy calls reach and frequency reach and repetition throughout this essay. He does this because he writes for people who never took advertising classes in college. It has been our experience that people will often misinterpret the word frequency, but they always understand the word repetition. Note 2. Everything the wizard told you today applies only to B2C advertising, business to consumer. It does not apply to B2B advertising or business to business. And direct response advertising is its own special monster. Indy Beagle.
For the founder of a successful public relations agency that has evolved and succeeded for 58 years, Dick Grove has an unusual perspective. We're in the news business, Grove insists, not the PR business. His reasoning is straightforward. To earn media coverage, individuals and companies must think like journalists, not promoters. Grove's approach aligns closely with that of roving reporter Rothbart, whose courses at Wizard Academy, Newsroom Confidential, Buzz Snatching, and Reputation Tool Chest, all taught the necessity of understanding how journalists and news organizations think and operate. Before hiring a PR agency or pitching journalists yourself, hear firsthand from Grove and Rothbart what it truly takes to win the media's favor. Journal your way on over to MondayMorningRadio.com and check it out right now.